Hey, good evening, guys. So, I wanted to talk a little bit about how important it is to try new things. Um, and I actually don't just mean in the bedroom, I'm actually talking about across the board. So, a good example is so my husband and I have almost been married for 20 years. And so, I was 22 when I got married, and I'm 40. And just yesterday, my husband celebrated his 43rd birthday. And now he doesn't like surprises. So, of course, what am I going to do? I'm going to surprise him, of course, right? So, that sounds horrible. But really, what actually happened was I did surprise him, but I surprised him with something that I thought would be unique to him and I, basically embarking on a new journey slash experience. We actually went and got what's called a cranial sacral massage, and then we did a visit to a salt cave. And although that sounds like so spa like and everything, it's more so like if you know much about it, but like energy sort of experiencing. And for me lately, what I've been really into is reading a lot about how energy affects the cells of the body. And, obviously, like one of the most basic things that I can kind of throw out there for people to better understand is the whole grounding idea. There are, these grounding mats now. It's like a thing where you can like lay on this grounding mat that you plug into the wall that keeps you connected to the earth. And, that's great for just typical consumers, right? Like they see this and they realize, oh, it's going to lower inflammation, whatever. So, but the reality is I've just been very into the energy thing and understanding that, parts of our body are very, very full of energy. And it's like the craziest thing because I used to think that all that stuff is like frou-frou nonsense. And like truly, like I used to think that it was like, my mom actually was very into like, she was a hippie, definitely grew up in the 60s. And so was my dad. My dad was more into the 60s than my mom, but who's since passed. But my mom, she was really into like the new age stuff too. I mean, my mom was, hasn't been a huge part of my life for a very long time, just kind of distance and stuff like that and some other things. But she really was into like gemstones and what they do for the body and things like that. And I always thought that was so goofy. Um, you know, I'm I was raised by her and my father, you know, I don't want to say briefly because that's not fair, but there was a big part of my life that I lived with my grandmother and my uncle, and they also watched me a lot growing up. So I had a very different upbringing, and my idea of the gemstone thing was like, what is this? That's so goofy and like kind of crazy. But as I'm starting to unravel my personal experience with what this world is and what we're all made out of and what it all means to us as, people who love each other and people we're all just trying to live a good life, right? We're all just trying to take care of ourselves and the people we love. And so we all share that commonality, but like I'm really truly discovering from a scientific perspective, and I say this because I'm not just reading like astral projection books or anything like that, and I laugh because that is an area I don't understand. I haven't dove into stuff like that to try and understand where other people are coming from. But there is a science to the way cells respond to energy. So, to swing it on back, I kind of took a tangent here off and started to discuss energy and all that. But there's a reason. So we did all that for my husband's birthday. We did the salt cave and the cranial sacral thing. But the most important thing that I wanted to kind of share with you guys that follow this channel is that it is incredibly important to not get comfortable. And comfort is a survival mechanism of the brain. So, yeah, of course you want that comfortable, usual feeling, right? Of feeling safe. But the reality is too, you have to adventure. You have to. There are things that are really cool that happen between two people when you embark upon something together and complete it together. So for me, I had a cranial sacral before, but it was from a shaman. And this was before I even like understood what a shaman was. And I was like way younger and just like went for the heck of it and didn't even know why I did it. Back in the day when you didn't need to support children or, like a family, I was single and just whatever, just doing my thing. So I adventured out into that. And, it was like crazy. I'm just going to tell you, it was crazy. It was not even like it wasn't even like what happened between yesterday for a normal cranial sacral. But, the reason I'm saying this is because it's so important to share something together that you guys have not done together and something that's kind of like unexpected, because it actually will help your brain grow and your bond between the two of you. So I thought I'd share that with you guys because it was beneficial. And if I could recommend, I would recommend trying new things. If there's an instrument you want to play, or your significant other wants to play, or they want to do a writing class or sewing class or a painting class, like, what is even more cool is that you try to experience that with them. So, for example, let's say your husband wants to, or your wife wants to learn how to play piano. So you're busy with the kids, you guys are constantly doing things. Carve out a second to book an appointment as a first lesson and help them to experience this new thing with you. There's a reason God intended us to have partners. And because I'm sure there's some sort of beautiful, reflective thing that happens with you and your significant other to grow as a person, to get connected with life and what that means, and share what's in here and here, out here in the world. So there's a huge, beautiful connection process going on in so many areas. So I hope this video helps. So long story short, figure out what your significant other would love to do as a hobby, or would, has never tried before, and you've never tried before. And maybe you guys have even laughed about it and never would say like, I'd never do that. Well, maybe you should try it. Maybe you should do it, because at the absolute worst, the worst case scenario that could come from that is that you guys laugh about it for years to come. And you talk about that experience like, wow, that was so weird, right? But it just makes it all flow together. So I hope this video helps you. Have a great night, guys.